Welcome to our show. This is Youth Questions, which is an initiative of Digital Parliament. How did you, what is your journey of life? How did you get into politics? What was the inspiration?
I was having an interest in social life and politics right from the day one. I'm a RSS volunteer from my childhood.
To start with, it's a long journey, almost a journey of last 22 years. Hello.
Very good. A very good evening, sir. Thank you for joining Youth Questions Digital Parliament. Uh, this is for all our viewers. Today we have with us an extremely successful entrepreneur. He is presently the state treasurer of Bharatiya Janata Party. He's a self-made entrepreneur. He's a director of Wire Association International, present member of Bureau of Indian Standards Subcommittee on Long Products, present trustee of Shri Ravi Shankar Vidya Mandir Trust of Art of Living Bangalore, and has traversed an entire journey from entrepreneurship to politics. Welcome on our show, Shri Mahesh Poddar ji, member of Rajya Sabha, Jharkhand.
Thank you.
We would like to understand how has your journey been being into entrepreneurship and business and joining politics? What was that one thing that you wanted to change?
It's a long journey, but a very memorable and pleasant journey, I would say. It's about 2 decades uh, of political public life. But before that, another 2 decades, I was in public life as a representative of trade and industry through various chamber of commerce and industry associations. In a way, since the beginning of my career, I have been involved into this kind of activity, and I'm proud of it that whichever organization I joined, I got a leadership situation. And it's a memorable journey.
Thank you, sir. Being in politics, it's a rough journey. What were the most difficult decisions that you had to make along the way?
Yes, uh, being in business and as a practicing businessman, as an active politician, also, uh, the one thing you sacrifice is your personal life, your hobbies, your family time. I mean, these are the things which one has to sacrifice, and maybe this is the roughest part of it, but many good things which you are able to do and get done uh, satisfies you a lot. So it's kind of it makes up for whatever losses you have otherwise.
So, you are a member of Rajya Sabha of one of the richest mineral state in India, Jharkhand. About 40% of the state is blessed with natural resources. Still, the people are living below poverty level, that is 39.1%, and 19.6% children are malnourished. What could be the prime reasons according to you, and how could we address this?
Well, I'm sure that among your viewers there must be, and quite a large number of it or majority of it, must be the urban population of big cities. So I can say or say that we are poor because you are rich. Somewhere we are adding to the economy of the nation, and that benefit uh, does not necessarily comes back to us, but it travels to every portion of the society, every part of the society, and that's that's the irony of the situation. But you know that unfortunately, this is true for the entire world. Whichever are the mineral-rich states, including the Middle East before 70s, uh, there used to be poverty all around. I think this government has done a trade-setting job, uh, decision of creating a fund called District Mineral Fund, and the and also some privatization of the mining, where the money from this mineral value goes back to the respective state or respective districts, so that the developmental activities can take place and this money can be spent there also. But unfortunately, for nearly 70 years, these states or these regions have been deprived uh, from the actual benefit. And, and that is why there is a lot of poverty. And see, what happened that the mining involves a lot of displacements also. And displacement means the total ecosystem is disturbed. So the poor people become poorer. And many people think that they have been given money and they have become rich. So it doesn't happen that way, because these are the people who have never handled money. They don't know how to migrate. In urban areas, there are people who have been migrating more than two cities in their working career. But these people have not migrated even to the nearby villages for few generations. Now, the urban people, the policymakers, unfortunately, do not understand the psyche of these people. I would not say psyche alone. As a matter of fact, their incapability to accept these changes, which appears to be normal for any urban policymaker. So I think this is the gap. But I am happy that now the government has realized and is sensitive about it, and the people are talking about land for land, and people are also taking steps to rehab these people simultaneously before they are displaced. So these are the some steps taken, and also some other steps have been taken, that the mining activities, the economic activities related to mining, jobs, etc., are being done there. Uh, Depending on the states, say in our state, unfortunately, we could not do much for the value addition of these minerals. That's one regret I have, and that is the reason why still, though we are not very populous state, it's only 3.25 or 3.3 crore, still many people have to migrate for the jobs. That's the unfortunately part of it. We could have provided job in case we would have taken steps to uh, value add and create some downstream industries for these minerals and outputs uh, coming out of these factories, whatever we have. Let me tell your viewers that Bihar was the only state uh, when Jharkhand was not separated out, which had two steel plants, integrated steel plants in the country. Uh, After the Jharkhand has become a separate state, still it has the unique distinction of having, say, about four integrated steel plants, major ones in the state. So we produce a lot of steel, but we don't produce any steel downstream products. So that's the tragedy. We produce a lot of bauxite and related items, minerals, but we don't produce alumina. We produce alumina, but we don't produce aluminium. I mean, this is the kind of situation I was trying to. These are just some of the examples. We produce copper ore, but we don't produce copper. I mean, these are some of the examples I am giving you, and that's the reason why people are poor, and nothing much is happening here.
I totally concur with what you're saying, sir. Now, in terms of unemployment, as you mentioned, the registered unemployment has increased sixfold, and it is the highest among the 5 states surrounding Jharkhand. Uh, as you mentioned that people have to migrate, what can we do to address this situation and provide more employment within the state?
See the employment. One thing which the last state government led by BJP government led by Raghuvar Das did was train the huge manpower into skilling and get them skilled jobs. We can provide paramedical staff to all over the globe. I mean, we have so much of people. So, and the boys and girls, the youngsters, they are really hardworking and dedicated. So this is what kind of job we can do, value-added job instead of raw labor job. We can do value-added job. This is one part of it. Another part is that in case we decide and we create an ecosystem, acceptability. See, there is a lot of mistrust of the local population over the kind of industries which come and which the set up. They do feel that local population doesn't get benefit out of it. This kind of feeling should not be there, and steps should be taken to dispel away so that there is an investment there and the people start getting the job. Apart from that, the agriculture sector, the forest produce, the minor produce sector. See, we have these are the areas where we can grow big. We have one single crop economy in agriculture. So the people, and they have a very small area of cultivation. So most of the people, I would say that almost 70-80% of the farmers here have only 3-4 months job in their fields. Rest of the time they do nothing. So now either they do some manual jobs. Now that is the time, that is the workforce, huge workforce, which doesn't do anything. They just remain idle. We have to find some job for them during those lean periods. See, these are the some of the things which can be done. But yes, I fully agree, and uh, I will accept it. The government cannot be the job provider for all. The government jobs cannot fill up such a huge expectation. That they can fill up a very small portion. Yes, that also plays a big role. But but the solution lies in employment related jobs or private investment jobs.
I agree with you, sir. So, sir, the people who are just sitting and who are also educated but jobless, what kind of skills do you think we should impart them as an individual to become a little more employable in the industry? We have identified the industries, but the skill gap would be still present.
See the uh, skill, as I said earlier, like the service related jobs like paramedics uh, and mechanical jobs, construction skilled jobs for the construction industry, plumbers. I mean, this is one kind of jobs which can be created, which has some uh, better value addition from the job what they do. Apart from that, now I'm happy to say that our sisters are being trained as nurses, and they are going to Kerala. There was a time I have seen when the nurses, sisters from Kerala used to come to Jharkhand. Now it's another way around. So this is the time where the women are getting educated. The there has been some efforts uh, by the earlier government to create some garment making industry, which involves lot of female employment. Uh, but unfortunately, I didn't want to criticize. Unfortunately, the present government doesn't seem to be serious about it. All those factories have been closed. The women have become unemployed. So this, but what is needed is that whatever the earlier government has done, you need to improve upon that, and such continuity of such efforts should be there. I mean, the government can come and go, but such economic growth and such initiatives should not go waste, should not be stopped. Rather, they should be, irrespective of the government, this should be a permanent agenda that we will keep growing the job opportunity. That is what is we have to sensitize the political system here, and once they realize it, there is an immense potential.
Wonderful, sir. Apart from just the jobs, Jharkhand is also boosting its entrepreneurship ecosystem. So, for the young people who want to pursue entrepreneurship, what kind of ventures are supported and what kind of support is being provided to them?
No, I think I'll disagree with you that we have a lot of entrepreneurship. I'm sorry, it's not that. As a matter of fact, last 30, 40 years, we have made sure that our entrepreneurs are opening enterprises in all over the country except Jharkhand. This is a hard fact because I know that there is a new emerging coffee chain in Bangalore, Bangalore-based coffee chain. They are doing a wonderful job, but they are the guys from Ranchi, and I think they have become a unicorn, or they're likely to become a unicorn. So, but such things are missing. This is what I'm trying to say. And the entrepreneurs don't find the right environment here to grow. One thing that we had some policy to support the people who come out with the new ideas and tinkering lab and so many other things. But unfortunately, none of these are actually working on ground. So you don't do that. See, there is no private system which supports you, such entrepreneurs, and the government also doesn't support. Then who will do it? But one good thing I must tell you that we have a aspiring youth. There are 5 flights operating from Ranchi to Bangalore every day, and practically it's full. So these are the youngsters who are aspiring to build careers, but not here, and this is creating a lot of social issues. The parents are left alone here, or in many cases, I also find the husband got a job in Bangalore, the wife remains here because the husband can't afford to take her there. So many things are happening, which would not happen if we could provide them jobs here. But unfortunately, this IT sector, everywhere I have seen that tier 2, tier 3 cities have been providing a lot of jobs to these young, young minds. But we don't have any IT sector job potential. I think there are hardly 2, 3 small call centers, though we have a good Hindi speaking, good English speaking students which can do a wonderful job. In nutshell, I would say that entrepreneurs here are a bit frustrated lot, those who are here, and they do feel, and I'm sure they're not to be blamed, they do feel that the ecosystem is not supportive of their enterprise, and at times they regret also why they are stuck up here, because when they see their friends growing in a much faster speed at other places. But one thing has happened that these days I find the youngsters are getting into food business in a very big way. That's very comforting. The people who laughed at the suggestion of our Honorable Prime Minister when he said that Pakodewala is also a businessman. He is also an entrepreneur. People laughed at him. But the fact is that today, Pakodewala doesn't mean that only that pakoda. You can make samosa also. You can make pizza also. You can make pasta also. But this segment of business is coming, and you find everywhere um, some fashion articles being marketed, the food items are being marketed, small tea stalls. I mean, these are the new things I am seeing, and I am happy about it. At least these youngsters are coming and starting new ventures and at least learning the tricks of the trade. That's comforting.
So, what kind of changes can we make in order to ensure that entrepreneurs are more comfortable in Jharkhand and we can build an ecosystem for them to have a multiplier effect to also get employment in the state?
Oh no, you're right. You're right. It has a multiplier effect. I remember, see, we have about 25, 27% of tribal population in the state, and lot of young people are coming out with good education from this community. But it's also a fact that these people have been, for generations, been away from the business. Now they can't get the government jobs, so they have to get involved into business. I am happy to say that I find a lot of in their areas tea stores, some small shops being managed by them, and some young professionals who have done very advanced courses in fashion technology and so many things. They have opened restaurants. They have been trained chefs and all that. So, but I am sure the state government must make the rules and regulations much simpler to do the business. Long back, I promoted one person to open a lathe workshop. He himself was a very good lathe man, and he retired from a company. I pushed him to have his own lathe workshop. He was a tribal. I know if I would not be standing by him, he would be frustrated and closed. But fortunately, he he created it and he was running it. His son, after graduation, took over. But his grandson, who became an engineer, he never wanted to get into that business. Okay. Though he knew in the job he will earn less, in his own business he will earn more. But still he never wanted to because he felt that doing business is much more difficult. So it is better to get a job somewhere and get some fixed salary instead of becoming a businessman. I think this is what should be studied, that why he felt so. Maybe he must have seen that his father, who stepped into shoes of his father, who was an illiterate but trained, skilled person, must have been humiliated by people, law enforcing authorities, and that is why he maybe decided no, it is better to be an employee than an employer. I think this mindset the government has to do. Society doesn't create problems. Society is always supporting to business. People are supporting each other in a big way. That's true all over, and they don't follow any caste or religion or tribal or non-tribal. There is no divide among the business. You are a customer, you are a seller, you are a buyer. That's how the relationship is there. But the law enforcing authorities, they have created so many laws which are actually not needed, and each one of them tries to enforce that which cannot be enforced. I think this is I think the central government has given a mantra for that: ease of doing business. But central government has done. They have simplified many things. They have done away with many regulations. A simple thing like document attestation, which used to be every time graduate officer, you have to look for a graduate officer to attest your document. Now the self-attestation. I mean, this is a very simple but very effective example of making the lives easy for the citizen. I think this is what is needed at the state level. If you ask me, this is the single solution I can give.
All right, so that's a great input. Now, if Jharkhand was to be made a sustainable state, what could be the key points that you would like to address towards, or the key indicators you would like to work upon?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
If Jharkhand has to be made a sustainable state, considering it's a mineral rich state, but there are a lot of mines out there, how do we work towards achieving sustainable development in the state?
Okay. Uh, I think sustainable, when you say, probably you are trying to say from the environment point of view, or
Environment as well as the social point of view.
yeah. Uh, See, the thing is, any state, any aspiring state would like their citizen to be happy. They can take care of their education, take care of their earning. I mean, this is what, and their life should, they should feel secure. This is what people do expect, and this is the responsibility of the state government to provide that. What we have found that the system of governance and the accountability of the political system uh, is lacking there. Say, for example, if you take it to the 73rd or 74th Amendment of the Constitution, where a lot of powers have been given to the local government, and then you find that every day they are being imposed upon by the state government, the local body is becoming ineffective, though they are the lowest form of democracy at the doorstep of every citizen. So this is where the things start going wrong. I would say that political ecosystem will correct itself if the aspirations of the people will be there. The people, if they want to become well-to-do, then they would expect that these things should change. But what happens that if that aspiration is not there, uh, they can be, I mean, many sentimental issues are raised, and that becomes at the forefront. The other economic issues takes the back seat. So this is what is happening. So I think there is a need for awakening of the citizen, raising their hopes, raising their aspirations, expectations, and once it's at a different level and different their priorities are changed, then I would expect that they will choose the leaders who are up to their expectation and who are talking about their aspirations, not the people. They will not choose the people who are talking about so many other things which may give you some mental relief, but physically they are making you weaker and weaker. And your generations have suffered and continue to suffer if you don't change.
All right, I agree with you, sir. Now, what is your vision for the beautiful state of Jharkhand for the coming 5 years?
Uh, Coming 5 years, look, uh, the state is coping up with the, see, now the states, for the Aam Aadmi, let's say, there are some things happened at the central level, which is very important to every household, every citizen. Like when the government in the center decides that we want to have a Pakka house for every family. Okay, and they make sure that the sufficient schemes are made, budgeted, and implemented. Continue, but the implementation is with the states. But what happens that the central government is pushing it and monitoring it every now and then. Every water for every household, piped water. And when they say piped water, obviously it is clean water. There are a lot of many areas in Jharkhand where you have arsenic water. Now, if you source your water from every well or every tube well, then it will be contaminated. But you can source it from somewhere, purify it, and then distribute it. This is what the aim of the Modi government is. We are lacking behind the national average also. One of the poorest. But I'm sure, I'm sure the central government will not allow this state government to be lagging behind it. And when they have a target of 2024 for such initiative which helps every family, I'm sure if they don't speed up, they might come with some other alternative system of delivery, and that might happen by 23. So that by 24, I see the Jharkhand state, every household, every family will have a pakka house, every family will have a gas cylinder, electricity, piped water, road, Ayushman for the health. I mean, this is what I expect within 2 3 years. I see this, and then side by side, technology is going to take over the education, and the school education. The teachers are not there, classrooms are not there. So maybe that we will find some alternatives to this through some technology, and that will be the kind when the children will be educated, and more and more funding and monetary supports will be coming directly to the beneficiary, the intended target groups. More and more benefits will be coming instead of the current system by the state governments of, say for example, they are distributing about 41 lakh dhoti sari and lungi to the families. Now imagine uh, the entire tendering process of buying, entire bringing it, distributing it to the distribution centers, then the people coming and standing in queue for a day or two to get a pair of dhoti sari. Wouldn't it be better that intended, if you have intended group name with you, then I'm sure their Jandan Aadhaar bank details also would be with you. You want to help them and buy, you remit them money, then go and buy the cloth from whichever shop they want. Cloth is available everywhere. Only thing is what is lacking is the money. If you give them money, they will buy. And if they want to buy a green shirt, they will buy a green shirt. If they want to buy a blue sari, they will buy a blue sari. I mean, why not you give this option to them? Why try to make it a sarkari thing that everybody will wear a particular color of sari? That's not a good idea.
Great, sir. I agree with you. My last but not the least question: how can the CSR, corporates, and NGOs support you to achieve this great vision and work with you on this?
See the most basic requirements, as I said earlier, like house, electricity, etc., are being road for that matter, village road, solar power line, street lights. I mean, many things are being taken by the Prime Minister's various schemes, PM, this yojana, that yojana, so many yojanas are there, and they are working well. I think the delivery mechanism is not bad. So, this what can the CSR people do it? I would say that if the state decides, say for example, they decide that we want this particular district, there are 1000 schools, and let's say Singhbhum district, there are 1000 schools, government schools, primary schools, or say 1000 Anganwadi. The state can decide and ask any industry, for example, Tata Steel is in Singhbhum district, they can ask them that please make sure that all my schools have drinking water, toilets. I mean, they can set a minimum standard for the school and give this responsibility to these people that you focus on these things so that all my schools are up to a particular standard. I think this should be the approach of the government. And otherwise, the CSR funds will be utilized for something will be scaled and it will not be visible. But once you do that, this state can formulate district-wise or village-wise or what you say subdivision-wise targets. This is my focus, and entire efforts of this CSR activity in their area should be focused on that those kind of state. Then you will find 1 year we indicate shortages of a school, second year we indicate something else, third year we indicate something else. And these are executed also by the respective agency. I don't say that you take money, states should take the money and do it themselves. When they go for execution of these things, the companies, the people who are spending money, they will take help of the NGOs or whatever, and they will be responsible for monitoring them. So that's a different thing. But what happens that the people, NGOs want the money and they want to spend money on their own choice. This should not be permitted.
Yeah. Mm. I
Because see,
agree.
the intent of CSR is basically the place of work, the community around them should feel that we are benefited because of this factory or industry located near us. That's the spirit, and they should feel it.
Thank you, sir. We have one of our person, Mr. Kishore, who has a question for you. Kishore, would you like to switch on your camera and ask your question?
Yes, thank you very much, Harsha. Sir, it is great to see your.
Can you say a little loudly, please?
Uh, Sir, it is great to see your in-depth knowledge about your state and passion for society, the state and nation building development. I sincerely hope more public representative be like you with the passion for service and development. My question to you quickly, sir, we have seen that Jharkhand has really taken a lot of steps in infrastructure development. It has really grown, as being a new state of India into a kind of a upcoming state, but it still lacks on the although you touched few points on the employment, social index, so and so forth. But how do you see, because at this point of time, Jharkhand does lag on the lot of aspects, lot of ranking. If you look at entire India, all the 28, 30 states, Jharkhand lies low below, below average on human index, education, life expectancy. So I think there's a long way to go for Jharkhand to become a, ideal state. So I will not ask you how, why, but my best wishes that, with your kind of people like you, we will see that there's more improvement. So my best wishes. And if you have any comments about your state and how do you see in the next 5, 10 years, that would be great, sir. All the very best. Thank you.
Uh, okay, good one. Yes, I appreciate your concern. Uh, see, there are over 100 districts identified in the country which were called backward districts. And they were measured on some platform, some parameters. Some of them you also mentioned just now. based on that, they were backward districts. Central government, Modi government called them aspirational districts. Out of 24 districts we have, I think 19 or 20 districts are aspirational districts. That means there 90 out of 24, 19, 20 districts are among the backward districts, where the parameters were below the normal level. Now the good thing is that uh, the central government is very serious, and they are putting, not only providing the money to the state governments, whichever areas are there in their hand, they are trying to do it directly. But which are the area like health and many other things uh, is through, like for example, electrification of every house, roads, so many things that is in the executed by the state government. They are giving it, and every district is now put under one union cabinet minister. That cabinet minister will be personally monitoring the progress and development of that particular district. Recently, the fisheries and dairy animal husbandry minister Purushottam Rupala, he had come to Jharkhand, and because he is in charge of Dugla district, and he is mandated to stay there overnight, spend a day there, whole day there, meet people, meet the officials, and review the progress made. I am happy to tell you that in last 2-3 years since these schemes have come, there has been a tremendous improvement in the numbers what we see, and the health and the mortality rate, the food security. These are the areas where slowly we are reaching to the national average. But yes, if you talk about Ayushman, yes, Ayushman registration we were good, but the number of beneficiaries was quite low, and that was the area of concern. But the good thing is that the union cabinet minister sitting there and reviewing the progress. The district officials are accounting, and they are not there to ridicule them. Rather, they said that we are here basically to know what support can we give you more, so that you are at par with the national average by 2024. This is the concentrated effort which are giving results, and I'm sure by 2024 these aspirational districts where we are lagging, we will be at par with the national average. This is how the growth is taking place.
Wonderful, sir. Any final message to all our viewers and youth across the world who will watch your show now or in future?
No, the only message I can give that people talk about double engine ki sarkar. So I also feel that the central government and the state government, if they are the two engines of growth, they must work with each other, whichever make their, to say, whichever politically party their affiliation may be, but ultimately they have to pull the people out of poverty. They have to pull the people away from disappointments, and so this double engine, the terrain is so difficult. The single engine may not work effectively. So the states where they will work with the speed of double engine, irrespective of the make, the results will be better. I expect all the states should be doing this. That central government and the state government should be working together, supplementing each other's effort. Politically, they can be different, but let's not forget that every political party is swearing by the poorest of the poor. So they are mandated to do that, are committed, they are swearing. So they should be told again and again that in this matter, please don't have any difference. Rest of the matters you can differ whatever way you want to do it. With this, I thank you again for inviting me to this show, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining us, and taking time from your busy schedule. We highly appreciate it. Thank you.